Well, we are here. Today is Tuesday, and we are continuing yesterday's conversation. I am your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration, and I am here for our morning inspiration with friends. Grab your tea, your coffee, your water, or your smoothie, whatever you desire, and let's continue this conversation. So, yesterday, Monday, we were talking about surrendering. It did come up in my blog. You can go ahead and click the description down below, and you can see the most updated blog. So, yesterday, I went over two of the different pointers that I had about us surrendering. Right? If you're not surrendering, you're not giving it all to God, then I need you to challenge yourself to do that. Release that control. So I want to continue here. So signs that you haven't fully surrendered. So often people would tell me and they would say to themselves, "No, I'm fully surrendered. I surrender. I gave it all to God." And like I said yesterday, so often we do believe that we gave it all to God. We do believe that we are fully healed and that we are ready to just let go. But there are some signs that will let you know that you have not done that actual work that you think that you've done. So the first thing is that you are still obsessing about timelines, right? So let's talk about relationships. You are at whatever age, in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, maybe even your 60s, and you're believing, you know what, this is just not going to happen for me. You're obsessing about it. You're listening to what society is telling you that if you are 35 with no children, never been married, then you're dried up and no one's going to want you. Absolutely, that is incorrect. So we have to stop that actual. And when we start to surrender, we are able to do that. We're able to release that time frame. We're able to release those narratives that we're telling ourselves and that other people are telling us as well. So we're going to stop that. I want you to fully surrender and let go of those timelines, those time frames that have been told upon you, have told to you by someone out there. You're feeling extremely anxious. Now, being anxious about what is to come is another way of knowing that you haven't fully surrendered, because that means that you're still worried. You're still out here like, is it coming today? I always think about the DJ Khaled. There's a meme out there, and it's like he's peeking through a door, and it would say, anytime that I'm checking on God just to make sure in case he needs any help, he doesn't need our help. We don't need to be anxious. We just have to trust. We have to really trust. And yesterday we spoke about that so much, that surrendering means that we have to trust. And it is difficult for people to surrender because they do not trust. They don't trust that God has their best desires. They do not believe that God is going to do it at all. Like, some people just don't have that faith at all. So when you are anxious, that means that is a clear sign that you are truly not surrendering and not letting everything go and letting God do what he does, because he's God. The last thing that you're going to do is that you're holding on to those relationships and connections that just do not align. So for some people, you're still probably entertaining situationships, friends with benefits, people that you don't even like, and you're still there. Like, you're still there because you know what? Just in case. Um, Anytime I watch any of those judge shows, and you hear so often, they'll be like, "Well, I don't want to start over," and sometimes they're not even in their 30s, feeling like they can't start over. So they rather stay in those unhealthy connections instead of saying, "This is not aligning to what I desire. I know that my values are this, and their values are not aligned. I need to walk away. I'm not getting what I deserve. I'm not even getting what I want. So, why am I here?" That's the perfect question that you need to ask yourself. So, that is something that if you believe that you are fully surrendered and any one of those three things have already identified, that means that you have not fully surrendered. So, whatever it is, work on that, fully address it, and try to surrender. Give it to God. Like, this is the only way we can have the best life that we really desire. The next thing that we have to do is that when we are focusing on surrendering, we understand that when we surrender, it's going to shift our life, right? So, this is where I want you to start getting and tapping into different testimonies. This is where I want you to go on social media and find those stories. Find those stories. It might have something to do with the wilderness. Somebody might have something like that as a hashtag. They may hashtag um, faithful and waiting, Like, I'm just thinking of like hashtags just coming to me. Find those testimonies, find those personal narratives that align with whatever yours is. And that is what you're going to hold on to. Now, last week I had an interview for a volunteer opportunity. And as always, God is going to do what He's going to do. And the one thing that He did that I appreciated was that He allowed me to have a conversation with a woman she met her husband in her 40s and had her first child at 43 years old. I needed to hear that. Right. I needed to hear that because I'm in that season where I'm 40 years old. I will be 41 and I don't have children, and I'm just like, God, is this going to happen for me? And sometimes He's going to send those people that's going to give you that faith, that's going to give you that hope, because they are truly, they're living it. They have that test. And that is how we start to surrender. And that's how we really start to shift our life, because we are getting close to understanding that any day, at any moment, it can happen, and it can happen for us. So the last thing that we tend to do is that when we are ready to fully surrender, we got to get to that space where we just tell God, like, I surrender today. And I want to give you a prompt that I want you to, and I'm going to type it out here as well. God, I release my timeline, my fears, and my old stories to you. Such a simple journal prompt. And I want you to write and reflect everything that you are fully. See, this is a very general statement that's going to lead you into that journal prompt, but I want you to focus on that, because that is where you're going to find, those hidden gems, those whispers. And I want you to jot all of those things down, because that is going to help you to even uncover the areas that you haven't even addressed yet, which is possible. I also want you to get into a space of prayer. And if you have the capacity, you might need to fast. And this is something that I have been hearing for many people. So many individuals need to fast, whether it is 1 day, 3 days, or 5. You choose which one works for you, 1, 3, or 5. And allow that time. Get into that quiet space with God. Talk to Him and let Him know that you are fully ready to surrender. And if you are in that season of single and you are worrying about if you're going to meet that person, or God, when am I going to meet that person? This is the time that you are going to release that. His timetable, His desires for you, the person that's perfect for you according to His will. Like, you got to surrender and get fully aligned with that. Drop your narratives, especially if your narratives are nowhere being aligned with what God is telling you and even showing you of what your life could look like. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. This is gonna, like I said, this is a quick message. I'm traveling today, so you're not interacting with me live, but hit the like, drop a comment below, and just let me know that you was here with me. And as always, if you are here watching on the replay, smash that and type hashtag replay so I know that you were here. But I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. I will see you again tomorrow on Wednesday, and I hope you are having an amazing day on purpose and with purpose. I love you, and as always, you know that God loves you as well.